They can't cut anyone aside Ari McDonald. The Fever can re-sign Ari McDonald for the rest of the season.
Stephanie White just broke the barrel of bad news to the fan base that is Ari McDonald having to be released.
There is not great news when it comes to her.
Ari McDonald pretty much was let go by the team. Now, I'm here to tell you she has signed to a new team yet.
Ari McDonald shows out for the Indiana Fever.
The Indiana Fever look like a totally different team since Ari McDonald took over.
The Indiana Fever wasted no time. They have already released Ari McDonald. I believe Ari McDonald did a gentleman's handshake with the Indiana Fever front office.
Something explosive just went down in the Indiana Fever locker room, and it's leaving fans absolutely stunned.
A lot of fans is kind of not happy with this.
One of the team's most impactful players, someone who brought hustle, leadership, and fire, was just fired, and the timing couldn't be more suspicious.
Ari McDonald would be an asset to the team because there has been this idea of having Clark play off ball a little bit, just a few minutes a game like she did over at Iowa. So this is like nothing new. It's just new to the Indiana Fever.
Right after tensions on the court hit a boiling point, with star players being pushed, clawed, and even shoved to the ground, the front office made a decision that's shaking the entire WNBA.
If you want to give Caitlin Clark a technical foul for the reaction, ball's here. The ball is here. Caitlin Clark's head is here. She's nowhere near the ball and she goes for the eye. JC Young claws her in the eye. Mabry just goes and shoves her onto the ground.
We see Caitlin Clark on the receiving end of something, and it's not called correctly. In fact, she gets a technical foul after getting poked in the eye and then shoved to the floor, and Marina Mabry doesn't even get thrown out of the game. It's basically open season on Caitlin Clark.
Instead of protecting the ones who defend their teammates, the Fever cut someone fans were starting to rally around. What makes it worse? Other underperformers stayed.
Ari McDonald has done just a tremendous job filling in for the team and really has changed things.
Ari McDonald let go by the team.
Out there saying, what are the Fever going to do with Ari McDonald? They can't actually keep her. There is only one scenario where they can keep her.
This isn't just a roster move, it feels personal. And if you're a true basketball fan, type C 100% in the comments.
Caitlin Clark has brought to bear at the WNBA. I think it is extraordinary.
One, because she's really good, and you're, with any great player, you're going to try to intimidate physically if you can. And two, because she brings it on. She talks trash. She lets you know when she's putting it in your eye. She walks around the floor, whether it's with the referees, whether it's with the opponent, whether it's with anybody, as if she's the baddest woman on the planet, if not on the court. And she has the ability to back that up. I don't have any issue with that.
No player in WNBA history has had to deal with this, what she's dealing with.
In a move that left both fans and insiders speechless, the Indiana Fever officially released one of their most energetic and high-impact players, someone who wasn't just filling a spot on the bench, but changing the way this team played.
Ari McDonald and Caitlin Clark has fans up in arms.
She can score in the paint. She can score from outside of the arc. She's just a really great passer. This is the type of thing I think that they were envisioning when thinking of playing Caitlin Clark off ball, because she mentioned wanting to play off ball.
The 2 games that she appeared in, McDonald has carved out her own space in fans' heart.
This wasn't a decision made after a string of poor performances. In fact, it was quite the opposite. The player had stepped up in a time of crisis, signed under a hardship contract, and instantly became a spark plug, reviving the Fever's defense, pace, and chemistry.
The one negative of the Indiana Fever getting Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark back is that Ari McDonald cannot play. Sophie Cunningham has been cleared. Caitlin Clark has been cleared. You have now got like USA Today's WNBA media.
Her stats in just a few games, averaging 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 steals, spoke volumes. She wasn't just holding her own, she was outperforming others who had been with the team all season. But the release didn't come quietly. It came amid rising tension surrounding Indiana's star player, who has been at the center of relentless physical targeting all season long. From eye scratches to body checks to straight-up shoves, she's endured it all, while the referees often look the other way.
Oh, man. I was very anxious. Like, it felt weird, sitting at home, just watching the games. this time of the year. But when I got the call, I was very excited, very blessed, and a humble experience to join a team like the Fever. And I was excited and I'm ready to compete and just win. I was a slight bit anxious, but again, it was my first day. I wasn't trying to overthink because that's when turnovers happen or you just mess up. But just constantly playing, just not thinking too much and just calling what I'm comfortable with. But the girls did a great job of just, cheering me on and being very, accepting and welcoming.
Ari McDonald is currently signed to an end-of-season hardship contract, emergency hardship contract, and that is because the team was down under 10 players, so they qualified for an emergency hardship contract. Ari McDonald would be an asset to the team because there has been this idea of having Clark play off ball a little bit, just a few minutes a game like she did over at Iowa, so this is like nothing new. It's just new to the Indiana Fever.
And the player who got cut? She wasn't afraid to respond. In fact, when her teammate got blindsided during a dirty play, she nearly stormed the court to defend her. That moment sent a message to fans. This was someone who had her teammates' backs when it mattered. So why was she the one to go? That's the question that has everyone talking. It wasn't a matter of ability. It wasn't a matter of effort. It was a cold, calculated move that left many questioning the Fever's priorities. Fans were beginning to see her as a key piece of the puzzle. Someone who could help stabilize a team still trying to find its rhythm. Her departure wasn't just surprising, it was heartbreaking for a fan base already frustrated with how little support their star has been getting.
So for Indiana Fever fans, the return of a healthy roster is supposed to be good news. But it comes with a tough side effect, the likely release of guard Ari McDonald, who has quickly become a fan favorite during the team's injury-stricken start to the season.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
This was the kind of player who showed up, brought energy, and didn't back down. And yet she was let go while others who contribute far less remain protected. The shock of this roster decision isn't fading, it's growing. And the ripple effects, they're only just beginning. What makes this move even more controversial is the reason behind it. And no, it wasn't about stats, attitude, or lack of hustle. It was about numbers, contracts, and politics. The player who was released had been brought in on a hardship contract, a temporary deal used when a team falls below the minimum required number of healthy players. And she took full advantage of that opportunity, dominating the court, winning over the fans, improving her worth in every single minute she played. But the moment two key players, Sophie Cunningham and the Fever's biggest star, were cleared to return from injury, the math changed. The Fever had to reduce their roster back to 10, and someone had to go. But here's the part that's enraging fans. It didn't have to be her.
Some confusion over the way this goes. I covered a hardship before in Crystal Dangerfield a few years ago, and I think 2022, the Fever had some players overseas. This was pre-prioritization rules. Danielle Robinson was not yet with the team, and I can't remember who the other player was, but they only could have Crystal Dangerfield until those players returned. Then Dangerfield left, and they had to wait to get her back until that was cleared. I've seen a lot of fans say that the Fever could just cut someone else and then just keep Ari. That's not true. Once her Cunningham return, whether that's Tuesday or their next game after that, which I believe is their Liberty game over the weekend, so that's another 4 days. Keep that in mind when you think about returns. Then they have to let McDonald go. I think it's 10 days post-hardship, and then after that, once she's available, then they could, in theory, waive somebody to bring her in.
Instead of releasing an underperforming veteran, someone who's been inconsistent, failed to deliver, and hasn't contributed nearly as much, the front office chose to cut the player who was actually making a difference. That veteran, Brianna Turner, remained untouched. Why? According to league insiders, the Fever wanted to avoid possible locker room drama, backlash from agents, or damaging their reputation with free agents by cutting a seasoned player. So the front office made a business decision: protect the optics and sacrifice the heart of the bench. And this is where the move starts to look less like a routine transaction and more like a betrayal. Because this wasn't just any player. She was someone who had shown unwavering loyalty.
Ari McDonald stepped on the court with the rest of the Indiana Fever, it was totally the difference maker. She has been the offensive playmaker that they were needing. She has the experience and the pacing, and she just like fits in the system and she fits in the culture.
She's taking charges. She's playing big minutes.
She is not going to fix the problems for the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark. No guard's going to come in and do that. She's not going to come in and fix this team.
Even after being released, she didn't immediately sign with another team, though she easily could have. She waited. She waited because she believed the Fever might do the right thing and bring her back after the 10-day hardship window. That kind of loyalty is rare in pro sports. But what did she get in return? Silence. No guarantees, no reassurance. Nothing but the cold shoulder from an organization she had just gone to war for. This decision didn't just affect one player, it sent a chilling message to the entire locker room and to fans across the country. It said that fighting for your teammates might not protect your spot, that standing up and showing heart on the court isn't always rewarded, and that when push comes to shove, even the most dependable, passionate, and effective players can be treated as expendable if it serves the front office's agenda. And then there's the timing, perhaps the most suspicious part of all. This release came immediately after the player showed visible loyalty during one of the most heated moments of the season. When their star was clawed in the face and shoved to the ground, she didn't sit back. She stepped up, visibly prepared to defend her teammate.
By Marina Marbury.
She is a dirty player.
Marina Mabry, you dirty slime ball player, you come and blindside Caitlin Clark.
The damn game is still on.
JC Sheldon claws her in the eye. Mabry just goes and shoves her onto the ground.
JC Sheldon had pushed Caitlin. She had pushed Caitlin in a second quarter.
The very next move from the franchise, releasing her. Some fans see it as a coincidence. Others aren't so sure. To them, it looks like she was punished for doing what the rest of the team wouldn't, standing up. Adding salt to the wound, other teams across the league are already circling. Franchises with roster holes, struggling defense, or a lack of energy off the bench know exactly what she brings to the table, and they're ready to scoop her up. If she signs elsewhere and thrives, the Fever will have to face the music. They didn't just cut a player, they let a rising star walk out the door. Worse, they did it at a time when their own chemistry, defensive presence, and unity are under serious scrutiny. This wasn't just a contract decision. This was a power play, a move that reveals the tension between what's right for the game and what's convenient for the management. The Fever may think they avoided controversy by cutting quietly, but all they've done is ignite a bigger fire. Fans aren't just upset, they're furious, and they're not going to forget this decision anytime soon. This shocking roster decision doesn't just impact the player who was let go. It sends shockwaves through the entire Indiana Fever organization, especially around their franchise centerpiece. At the heart of this storm is the one player who has redefined the WNBA's public image, drawn national attention to every game she plays, and filled arenas in a way the league has never seen before. But despite her superstar status, she's become a repeated target, on the court, in the media, and now it seems within her own team's internal dynamics.
WNBA without Clark, league feels the hurt. Without Caitlin Clark, fan fervor's down, ticket sales are down, merchandise is down.
The physical abuse Caitlin Clark has endured this season is no secret. She's been clawed in the face, shoved to the ground, trash-talked endlessly, and left without proper protection from referees or even teammates. One of the few players who did show consistent loyalty and fire in defending her was the very one who just got released. Remember the incident when Clark got elbowed and shoved? This teammate was seen ready to charge in, ready to defend her, to stand up and show that this kind of dirty play wouldn't go unanswered. That passion, that loyalty, that sisterhood, it mattered to fans. And now it's gone. What makes things worse is the vacuum it leaves behind. Clark isn't just a rookie trying to find her place. She's the WNBA's most valuable asset right now. She's the reason ticket sales are surging. She's the reason young girls are watching. She's the reason networks are increasing coverage and stadiums are filling up. And yet the league has done little to protect her, both from physical harm and from the emotional weight of carrying a franchise on her shoulders. Losing someone like Ari McDonald, yes, we're saying her name now, isn't just a loss of bench depth. It's a loss of trust, protection, and on-court chemistry for Clark.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
Just have nothing but great things to say about who she is as a person. She's so welcoming and so warm as an individual that she can have a conversation with anybody. She's cut from the same cloth as me in that regard. You know what? Us Midwesterners, we tend to just, accept everybody with open arms. She was so kind to my family and everyone in the suite when she came to KC. So huge fans of Caitlin Clark.
McDonald wasn't just a fiery defender. She was one of the few players who actually complemented Clark's style. She defended the perimeter, took pressure off the point, and allowed Clark to occasionally play off the ball, similar to her days at Iowa. That tactical flexibility mattered. It gave Indiana a new dynamic that confused opponents and sparked new offensive flows. But now with her gone, the Fever revert back to predictable rotations and, more alarmingly, leave Clark more exposed to injury and burnout. The Fever organization had an opportunity here to show they were building something greater, something unified, something resilient. Instead, they chose to protect veterans with mediocre performance and ignored the chemistry that was just beginning to click. And the message that sends to Clark is unsettling. Even those who fight for you may not be safe. Even the players who bring intensity, defense, and loyalty may be sacrificed for political safety or PR image management. But this isn't just about Indiana. This is a mirror being held up to the entire WNBA. The league is at a crossroads. With Caitlin Clark, it has a once-in-a-generation opportunity, a player who can revolutionize the sport's popularity. But the system surrounding her? It feels stuck in the past. The officiating has been inconsistent at best, biased at worst. The roster rules, like the 10-player minimum and hardship contracts, have forced teams into unfair decisions. And most damaging of all, the culture has yet to evolve to protect the very players drawing the most attention. The WNBA is getting more eyes than ever before, but if it doesn't adapt, it risks driving away both talent and fans. Because fans are watching now, closely. They're asking why a player like McDonald, who played her heart out, was let go while others stay. They're asking why Clark keeps getting fouled without consequence. They're asking why loyalty is punished and mediocrity is protected. And if the answers aren't clear soon, the league's reputation could take a hit that not even its brightest star can fix.
52 points is the lowest point total that Chicago has had since 2011. So it's actually tied for the 5th lowest, apparently, in point total in team history in a regular season game. And the Indiana Fever has beaten the Chicago Sky by a combined 62 points in 2 games.
At the end of the day, this wasn't just a mistake, it was a warning. The Indiana Fever didn't just release a player. They may have fractured something far more valuable: the trust of their fans, the unity of their roster, and the momentum of a movement that was just beginning to take flight. And unless the front office course corrects fast, they may not get a second chance. So here we are. What started as a routine roster adjustment has turned into a firestorm of backlash, doubt, and growing frustration. A player who brought energy, loyalty, and production was cut in silence, right when the team needed her most. The timing couldn't have been worse, the reasoning couldn't feel more political, and the consequences may stretch far beyond just one game or 1 week. The Indiana Fever had a chance to protect their rising star, build a culture of toughness and unity, and show fans they reward heart and hustle. Instead, they chose silence and sacrifice. And now, with the spotlight shining brighter than ever, every move they make will be watched, questioned, and remembered. The big question is, was this a mistake they can fix, or one they'll regret for the rest of the season? Let us know in the comments. Should the Fever bring her back? Or did they just hand another team a future star? If you believe this player deserves better, and if you're standing with the fans who want real change, don't forget to like the video and type CC 100% in the comments to show your support for basketball that's played with passion, not politics.
It is a mad situation just all around when it comes to Caitlin Clark, because it's very clear that she is way stronger.
It is undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the engine.
Caitlin Clark effect. There has been so much of an influx in attendance, in jersey sales, and viewership, all the things.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
Caitlin Clark is the absolute difference maker for the Indiana Fever.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
Caitlin Clark is a superstar globally.